Milk, one ingredient, one of the oldest foods humans have consumed for thousands of years. Yet the milk on supermarket shelves is far more different than most people realize. Most shoppers assume milk is milk. They pick the cheapest bottle, choose a familiar brand, or grab whatever is on offer. But behind every carton is a completely different story. Some milk is heated above 135 degrees Celsius to last for months. Others come from organic farms with stricter standards. Some have much of their natural fat removed, while others keep their original creaminess. The biggest difference? You often cannot see it from the label. A 90p carton and a £3 bottle may both say milk, but the journey before reaching your fridge can create two very different products. Today we are comparing 8 supermarket milks, exploring how they are made, what changes during processing, and whether paying more actually gives you better quality. At the end, we reveal which 3 are truly worth buying. Let's begin. Coming in at number 8, Tesco British Whole UHT Milk. At first glance, Tesco British Whole UHT Milk seems like an unusual product for this list. After all, this is whole milk. It still contains natural fat. It still has the creamy texture people expect from traditional milk. So why should you think twice before buying it? The answer is processing. Whole milk keeps more of its original composition compared with reduced fat versions. The natural fat contributes to flavor and texture and carries certain fat-soluble vitamins. The issue with this product is not what Tesco removes, it is what happens afterwards. This milk goes through UHT processing, where it is heated to around 135 to 150 degrees Celsius for a few seconds before being sealed in sterile packaging. The advantage is obvious. A carton can sit unopened for months. No fridge, less waste, more convenience. From a supermarket perspective, it is an extremely efficient system. But there is a trade-off. The high temperatures change the milk. Many people notice a sweeter cooked flavor compared with fresh pasteurized milk. Some describe it as slightly caramel-like, while others simply notice that it tastes different. And this is where consumer psychology becomes interesting. Many shoppers see a long-life carton and think, it is just normal milk, but more convenient. Technically, that is true. UHT milk is safe. It is still milk, but convenience and quality are not always the same thing. If you need milk that lasts for months, UHT makes sense. But if you are looking for freshness, flavor, and less processing, fresh pasteurized milk is a different product. Tesco already sells fresh versions of its British whole milk. So unless you specifically need the long shelf life, you are choosing a more processed option for a benefit you may not actually use. And this is only the beginning, because the next supermarket takes the opposite approach. Instead of keeping the natural fat, it removes much of it. At number 7, Sainsbury's Basics Semi-Skimmed Milk. Sainsbury's Basics Semi-Skimmed Milk shows why supermarket milk can be confusing. From a shopper's perspective, the choice seems obvious. It is cheaper, it is still milk, and it says semi-skimmed, which many people associate with being healthier. This is one of the strongest ideas supermarkets have benefited from. Less fat must mean better, but milk is not that simple. Semi-skimmed milk is created by removing some of the cream from whole milk until it reaches a lower fat percentage. The result is lighter, less creamy milk. It also changes the amount of naturally occurring fat-soluble vitamins because those are linked to the removed fat. Now, this does not mean semi-skimmed milk is bad. Millions of people choose it because they want a lower fat option, and that can be a perfectly reasonable choice. The important thing is understanding the trade-off. Removing something naturally present in food always changes the product. The texture changes, the taste changes, the nutritional profile changes. This becomes even more noticeable in budget supermarket ranges, because cheap milk is designed around one main goal: consistency. Milk from different farms is often combined and standardized, so every bottle tastes almost identical throughout the year. That is useful for supermarkets. Customers know exactly what they are buying. But the focus is not on creating a unique premium dairy product. It is about producing an affordable, everyday product. And that is exactly what Sainsbury's Basics is. Affordable, functional, simple. But when supermarkets compete over every penny per litre, one question remains. Where are those savings actually coming from? The next supermarket shows how far that cost-cutting approach can go. Next up, number 6, Morrison's Everyday Milk. Morrison's has built much of its reputation around fresh food. Many shoppers associate the supermarket with quality ingredients and traditional food. That reputation influences how people view everything they buy there, including milk. But Morrison's everyday milk represents a different side of supermarket dairy. This product is not about being special, it is about being affordable. And that is not automatically a bad thing. The milk is safe, it meets UK standards, it does exactly what it promises. But the question is, what are you actually getting when you choose the cheapest option? Budget milk is usually produced with efficiency as the priority. Large-scale farming, standardized processing, a consistent taste, a low price. This system allows millions of people to buy milk at an affordable cost, but it also means you are not paying for extra farming standards or premium production methods. This is where certifications become important. Many supermarket milks carry the Red Tractor logo. Some shoppers assume this means premium quality. However, Red Tractor mainly represents baseline standards around areas like traceability, hygiene, and animal management. Organic certification goes further, with stricter requirements around farming methods, feed, and antibiotic use. So when you compare budget milk with organic milk, the difference is not just the label. The production systems behind them can be genuinely different. The bottle may look the same, the word milk may look the same, but what happened before it reached the shelf is not the same. And if you think this is only about fresh budget milk, the next supermarket combines affordability with the thing supermarkets love most, a shelf life that lasts for months. Coming in at 5, Asda Just Essentials, UHT milk. Asda's Just Essentials range was built around one idea: make everyday products as affordable as possible. For many shoppers, especially during periods of rising grocery prices, that is exactly what they want. A cheaper carton of milk feels like an easy saving, but milk is one of those products where a lower price often comes with compromises. Asda Just Essentials UHT milk combines two things supermarkets love: low cost, long shelf life. The UHT process allows the carton to stay unopened for months, reducing refrigeration needs, transport challenges, and waste. From a business perspective, it is extremely efficient. But for consumers, there is a trade-off. The same heating process that creates the long shelf life also changes the milk. The flavor becomes different. The texture can feel less fresh. Compared with fresh, pasteurized milk, it is simply more processed. Then there is the question of fat content. Many consumers assume lower fat products are automatically healthier, but removing something naturally present in food does not always create a better product. It creates a different one. And the countdown is becoming more interesting, because the next products combine multiple compromises in one carton. At number 4, Aldi Everyday Essentials Skimmed UHT milk. Now we reach the point where several compromises start stacking together. There is a difference between choosing one trade-off and choosing several at the same time. Aldi Everyday Essentials Skimmed UHT milk combines two major changes. First, the fat is removed. Second, the milk is exposed to ultra-high temperatures. Together, these create one of the most processed versions of supermarket milk. Let's start with skimmed milk. Many people choose it because it seems like the obvious healthy option: less fat, fewer calories, a lighter drink. For people reducing fat intake, that choice can make sense. But skimmed can create the impression that something unnecessary has simply been removed. That is not the complete story. Milk fat contributes to flavor, texture, and carries fat-soluble vitamins such as A, D, and E. When almost all of it is removed, the final product becomes thinner and relies more on other foods for those nutrients. Then comes UHT processing. The milk is heated above 135 degrees Celsius, allowing it to remain stable for months without refrigeration. Again, this is useful. A carton you can store for emergencies is convenient. But the product is designed more around storage and efficiency than freshness, and this is where supermarket psychology matters. The packaging looks familiar, the word milk is still there, the price is attractive, so shoppers often assume they are simply getting the same product for less money, but they are not. They are buying a version of milk designed for a different purpose: maximum convenience, minimum cost, long shelf life. The question is whether that is the type of milk you actually want every day. Number 3 on the list, Iceland skimmed milk. At number 3, we have a product that shows something important. Not every compromise comes from the same place. Sometimes the issue is not only processing, sometimes it is what has already been removed before the bottle reaches the shelf. Iceland skimmed milk is a good example. Unlike some products higher on this list, the main concern is not UHT processing. The bigger issue is the skimmed milk itself. The idea behind the product is appealing. A lighter milk, less fat, lower calories. Many shoppers immediately think, This must be the healthier option. And that assumption is exactly why skimmed milk has become so popular. But removing fat changes more than just the number on the nutrition label. The creamy texture disappears, the flavor becomes lighter, and some vitamins naturally associated with milk fat are reduced. This does not mean skimmed milk is unhealthy. It still contains protein, calcium, and important nutrients, but it is not the same product as whole milk. That difference matters because many people treat all milk as interchangeable. They assume the only difference is fat, but the manufacturing process changes the entire product. There is also a psychological effect with lower fat products. When something is marketed as lighter, people often automatically see it as better. The same happens with many foods: low-fat yogurt, light cheese, reduced fat snacks. But removing something naturally present in food does not always improve it. Sometimes it simply creates a different product. And when every bottle looks almost identical in the supermarket fridge, these differences are easy to miss. Understanding what is inside the carton matters more than the color of the label. But the next supermarket creates an even bigger contradiction, because it has a strong reputation for responsibility and ethics. Yet the milk itself combines two major compromises. At number 2, Co-op skimmed long-life UHT milk. The Co-op has spent years building a reputation around values, community, fairness, responsible sourcing, supporting British suppliers. Those values matter to many shoppers, which makes this product interesting because the branding creates one expectation. But the milk itself tells another story. Co-op skimmed long-life UHT milk combines two compromises we have already seen: skimming and UHT processing. First, most of the natural milk fat has been removed. Then the remaining milk is heated to extremely high temperatures so it can survive months on supermarket shelves. Again, this does not make the product unsafe. It is completely legal and practical for people who need milk that lasts longer. But if you ask, what is the highest quality milk experience I can get? This is probably not where you end up. Think about traditional milk production. Fresh milk leaves the farm with its natural composition. Then modern processing begins: fat removal, heat treatment, standardization. Each step has a purpose. Each step creates convenience, but each step moves the milk further away from its original form. And this creates one of the biggest misunderstandings in supermarkets. People often compare products only by price. A cheaper carton, a more expensive carton. Same size, same word on the label, but the real difference is what happened before they reached the shelf. And now we arrive at number 1, the product that combines almost every compromise we have discussed. And finally, number 1, Little Milbona skimmed UHT milk. This product represents almost everything we have covered throughout the countdown. It is skimmed, meaning most of the natural fat has been removed. It is UHT, meaning it has been heated to extremely high temperatures for long-term storage. And it is designed around one thing above everything else: efficiency, low cost, long shelf life, simple storage. From a supermarket perspective, this formula makes perfect sense. A carton that lasts for months creates fewer problems: less refrigeration, less waste, easier transportation, lower costs. And for many shoppers trying to reduce grocery bills, that convenience is valuable. But when it comes to milk quality, this is where the biggest compromises come together. The natural creaminess is gone, the flavor is changed, the product has been adapted for convenience rather than freshness. And this is where consumer psychology becomes fascinating. The product succeeds because it matches what shoppers have been trained to look for: cheap, convenient, low fat, long lasting. Those words sound positive, but they do not always tell the complete story. A product can be affordable without being the best version of itself. A product can be convenient without being the freshest. And a product can be lower in fat without automatically being the most nutritious choice. The reality is simple. Little Milbona skimmed UHT milk is not fake. It is not dangerous. It is simply designed around one priority: keeping the price low and the shelf life long. But if you're looking for milk focused on flavor, farming standards, and preserving more of what milk naturally contains, there are better options. Now it is time to look at the 3 supermarket milks that are actually worth spending extra money on, because the best products are not always the most expensive. They are the ones where you understand exactly what you are paying for. Number 3 on the list, Sainsbury's Esso Organic Whole Milk. The first upgrade does not require spending a fortune. Sainsbury's Esso Organic Whole Milk shows how a small increase in price can bring a real difference in production standards. The biggest difference is not simply the word organic. It is what that certification represents. Organic dairy farming follows stricter rules around animal feed, land management, farming methods, antibiotic use. The system behind the milk is different, and unlike vague premium branding, organic certification is independently controlled. For shoppers currently buying the cheapest supermarket milk, moving to an organic option is one of the simplest ways to make a genuine upgrade. It keeps the natural fat, it avoids the heavy processing found in UHT skimmed products, and it gives more information about how the milk was produced. But the next milk takes things even further, because this time the difference comes from the cow itself. At number 2, Graham's The Family Dairy Jersey Milk. If organic milk is about improving the farming system behind the bottle, the next product takes a completely different approach. The difference comes from the breed of cow. Graham's The Family Dairy Jersey Milk is not just a more expensive version of regular supermarket milk, it is genuinely different. Most standard supermarket milk comes from Holstein cows, which are selected mainly for efficient milk production. Jersey cows produce milk with naturally higher butterfat and protein levels. The result? A richer, creamier texture. The difference is noticeable. The milk feels fuller, the flavour is stronger, the texture is closer to traditional dairy. This is why Jersey milk is often called gold top milk. The higher cream content allows the cream to naturally rise to the surface. There is also another important detail: processing. Most supermarket milk is homogenized. This keeps the fat evenly distributed throughout the bottle. There is nothing wrong with homogenized milk, it is simply the modern standard. But some people prefer milk that has gone through fewer processing steps. With Jersey milk, especially unhomogenized versions, the experience is closer to traditional dairy. Leave it in the fridge and the cream separates naturally. Shake the bottle before pouring. It feels less like a highly manufactured product and more connected to the farm. And that is the interesting thing about premium milk. You are not just paying for better packaging. You are paying for specific differences: the breed of cow, the farming approach, the natural characteristics of the milk. But there is still one product left. A milk that combines better farming standards, whole milk, minimal processing, and a focus on keeping milk close to its original form. And finally, number 1 on the list, Waitrose Dutchie Organic Unhomogenized Whole Milk. This product represents almost the complete opposite philosophy of the budget milks from the beginning of this countdown. The cheapest products focused on efficiency, low cost, long shelf life. This milk focuses on something different: quality. The first difference is that it is organic. That means farms must follow stricter standards around animal feed, farming practices, and antibiotic use. Organic certification is not just a marketing phrase, it requires farms to meet specific requirements and pass checks. The second difference is that it is whole milk. Nothing has been removed. The natural cream remains, the texture remains, the traditional characteristics remain. And then there is the final detail: unhomogenized. Most supermarket milk is homogenized, so every bottle looks and feels identical. But before homogenization became common, milk naturally separated. The cream would rise to the top. That is exactly what happens here. Open the bottle after it has been sitting in the fridge and you will see the cream layer. It is a small detail, but it tells you something important. The milk has been changed less. And for many people, that is exactly what they are looking for. Because after this entire countdown, one pattern becomes clear. The further we move toward ultra-processed, low-fat, long-life milk, the further we moved away from the natural characteristics of milk. The further we move toward organic, whole, and minimally processed options, the closer the product became to traditional milk. Of course, this does not mean everyone needs to buy the most expensive bottle. Budget milk exists for a reason. Price matters. Every milk on this list meets safety requirements. The difference is not whether the milk is safe, the difference is what you value. Do you want the cheapest option, the longest shelf life, the lowest fat? Or do you want a product where more of the original qualities of milk have been preserved? That is the choice supermarkets rarely explain, because once you understand the difference, the decision becomes much easier. 8 supermarket milks revealed one important lesson. Milk is not simply good or bad. The word covers a wide range of products with differences in freshness, processing, fat content, production methods, and quality. The biggest mistake shoppers make is assuming cheap and premium milk are the same product with different packaging. They are not. Sometimes the cheaper option is the smarter choice. Sometimes convenience matters most, but when you understand the differences, you can make a decision based on knowledge instead of marketing or price alone. So, which supermarket milk surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more investigations into the everyday products hiding in your shopping trolley.